David Pineda, DP here. Want to cover a topic that has come up a little bit here, which I think is interesting to talk about. Why do veterans need service dogs? I find myself being able to talk a little bit about it because I have a service dog. Legend is his name. He's named after Chris Kyle. You'll see him pop up here on the screen as I kind of pop up some of the images of him. Um, but yeah, he is my service dog. I've had him since he was, we were paired at 8 weeks old, when he was 8 weeks rather old, and he was placed with me at when he was 18 and change. So last summer of last year. One of the things that I think is interesting to note for the veteran side of the house is having a variety of different ways of receiving treatment. Some folks like medication. Some folks medication doesn't work for them. Some folks look at alternative means of medication. And what I will say is I was able to work with an organization called MK9S Service Dogs. So they're based here in the Virginia area. And what I will say is that one of the keys to the process for me was understanding that even though I was going to training and working with Legend once a month and twice a month and weekly while he was being raised by a canine mentor, again, one of the ways to get a service dog, you can self-train, you can just go and be given a service dog. There's different ways. But for me, it was interesting to be able to go through that process. It's what I needed as I was going through the transition of retiring from federal law enforcement and basically having to take a medical out. So as the conditions and things that I was dealing with got worse, it was apparent to me that I needed to try different things. So my wife basically reached out to me and said, you should probably look into getting a service dog, see if that's something that may work for you. And I'll say, as a veteran, sometimes we tend to just not want to get help. We tend to want to say, I'll either take this medication or I won't. And the benefits that you have from having a service dog, while it's a big responsibility, and we'll have links to the full video that I did with Alexis, who is a veteran. We talked about my perspective as a father and a husband with 3 kids, and her perspective as a single woman living in New York City. Again, to get perspective into what life is like with a service dog. But the biggest benefit is that unlike the medication that sits in a drawer or the therapy I didn't go to, I don't have a choice when it comes to having a service dog. They are not going to stop, right? He's going to alert. He's going to nudge. He's going to push me to do the things that I may not want to do. So it's not something you can forget or ignore, unlike other medical equipment. So a service dog inherently, it's a medical device, it's medical equipment because of the fact that for me, Legend is providing a service for my disabilities. That said, I just can't ignore it either because he's not going to stop. So whether that means, having to mitigate what I'm dealing with or provide support for that or just at times get me out the house, those are the things that are available. So because we're seeing so much benefit in service dogs, I think it's amazing. But for me, answering the question of, why do veterans need service dog, or one of the biggest benefits, the why really depends on your condition. It could be medical, psychiatric, mobility, sight, what have you. It depends on what you need. But the biggest benefit, I would say, is you are no longer detached. For many of us that leave service, that's the biggest thing, right? I left service, I didn't wear anything that was military, right? Or would identify me as such because I was just kind of estranged for a period of time because I wasn't in service anymore. I felt I was out to fight. I was not what I used to be anymore. But the reality is that I'm just at a different stage now. I'm no longer that young, E1, or I'm not the E7 before I got out. I'm a disabled veteran, but I'm not unable. So I'm able to start breaking the stigma in the fact that I can still live and do things. I just have to work around the limitations I may have. So not feeling alone for some that may be watching this or hearing this, I think is one of the biggest benefits that is appreciated, because for many of us, we enjoy the camaraderie, right? The bond that we have, and being able to now be with something that's with us all the time. My service dog is always with me, right? He's at my feet. So he's always with me, no matter what's going on, late into the night, early morning, traveling, it's a whole different conversation. And I'm married and have 3 kids, and I can tell you that it's a whole different type of bond that you have in this capacity. So for many out there who may feel detached or are dealing with, situations, medical conditions, whether they be psychological or medical, you are having to go through that to a degree sometimes by yourself. And having a service dog goes beyond just having a pet. Like, there's benefits to having a pet, there's benefits to having a dog, all the things you've heard. But having a service dog takes it to another level because of the fact of the responsibility and the fact that you literally have a shadow. It's always a plus one. And what they are able to do and learn and detect, there are things that my service dog does that he wasn't trained to do, and he's just picked up on it as he gets to know and learn me better. So I would say, why do veterans need a service dog? Really, it's to be able to continue living. It's to be able to regain your independence. It's to be able to have someone guarding your six, right? So, if nothing else, I would say the fact that you're not traveling through the world or navigating the world alone, that's powerful, because you know how we used to do in the military, right? You went in buddies, right? Get a battle buddy or get a shipmate or what have you. Don't go at it alone. That's a benefit of having a service dog, especially for those that may not have access to a network, or may be older, and maybe that network of friends or associates or colleagues may be estranged, may have passed away, may have moved far away. So I would definitely encourage, if you're interested in a service dog, definitely feel free to leave some comments below to get more information. We'll link again some of the blogs and information that we've shared, but I hope this is helpful.